Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad series by Barry Jenkins is a masterpiece. It is uncomfortable, disturbing, difficult, and painful. The depiction of slavery is earth-shattering. It's so raw, exposed, and unapologetic. The imagery evokes the feeling of dread and fear. The oppression is heavy as a 10-ton truck, and the situation is just hopeless. It is what it is. Slavery is the most horrific event that has ever occurred in our history. It's so barbaric and lacks any conscience. Our ancestors had it bad. It was brutal. From the whips that devour your bloody mincemeat back to the fires that consume the body, turning it into a coal. The total disregard for human life is heartbreaking. How are you better than me as a human being because your hue is diluted? Why are you offended by my melanin tone? Why do you have to humiliate me and disregard my right to life? Why is your God so prejudiced and so selective? We see characters lose hope. It's difficult not to lose hope. Optimism is like aircon in hell. We witness suicide. We see hunger devouring the very essence of a man, leading to his death. Because what's the use? Why eat? For what? For who? I'm tired of laboring in the name of slavery. I've made peace with the Lord. They can't do anything to my soul no more. They don't care about you. You're just a nigger, an animal with no reasoning faculties, genetically built to serve the white man. You're just mere property like tools, and we need you to procreate so we can sell your children to turn a profit. Don't tell me about love. Niggers don't have that capacity. This is strictly mechanical, and a white man will be present watching you as you lay pipe. You can't even run away. They chase after you, and once caught, punishment in the form of flesh-eating whips awaits. Suicide is difficult. You are always monitored. All they want is a daily dose of your spirit like concentrated syrup until it runs out. The hangings, the violence, the killings, the hate, the ignorance, the fear, the horror, the suffering. Oh, the suffering. Each scene was like a dagger to my soul. It never got better too. The good-hearted characters who assisted the protagonist on her journey always died horrific deaths because slave owners always win and slavery is justified. The good and heartwarming scenes never last. There's always a shadow that ultimately engulfs the protagonist's present, turning her world into disarray and scrambling for survival. I was relieved when Cora shot dead Ridgway. He was a bad man and I hated him like a recurring nightmare. I don't understand the hate in his heart. His father did his best to show him the way. We are all one. We are one spirit. Try to see yourself in another person. Yes, there is an order and everybody has a role, but what about your humanity? Why do you have to conform to the norm when you are haunted by its conditions? Maybe I will never understand. Maybe he had a slave catcher mentality and being an observer of the series. I will never quite understand that psychology. I would have shot Homer dead too. Too many times in the story, he was the difference. He's a loose end. He knows too much. Granted, he was under Ridgway's frame and he had to serve him, but he was complicit. He knew what he was doing. He even committed murder to save Ridgway. Still, I understand the decision to spare his life. Cora didn't have any beef with him, and if she killed him, she would be hanged, and this time around, the killing wouldn't be justified. I feel sorry for Homer now that Ridgway is dead, because what's he going to do? He's just a nigger kid. How is he going to survive? He was dependent on Ridgway in more ways than one. He was like a father to him. How is he going to navigate the world alone? He's going to have to regress to a slave to make it through. Now, isn't that poetic justice? Isn't killing Homer mercy? Maybe not. We all deserve a chance at life. And he is resourceful. Just maybe. He'll be okay. Korra showed us that it's possible, time and time again. I salute the makers of the craft. Barry Jenkins and his team delivered an absolute masterclass. I imagine it was difficult creating that. The mental strength required to play the role of Korra cannot be underestimated. Full credit to Thuso Mbedu for delivering perfection. I'm pretty sure she had support. A psychiatrist, psychologist, or some sort of professional had to be on site at all times. Playing a character with so much depth can be scarring and psychologically distressing. Who knows what's hidden in the deep recesses of your subconscious? She had to go to dark places and inhabit them. She had to disconfigure herself and willingly go under the sword. She had to combat the shadows that were well hidden by time. She faced the monsters in her closet. She captured the essence of being a slave. She was a slave. She is just an amazing artist. But it's not just her. Everyone performed at such a high level. Unbelievably, there was no weak link. Everyone was a solid 10. The visuals, the pictures, the camera work, the slow motion takes, the deliberate use of silence, the costumes, the score, music and soundtracks, the fire, the singing, the slaves, the sets, the characters, the actors, the brutality, the violence, the beats, the dialogue, the sequence, and the overall story. It is content on another level. The genocide scene at Indiana was hard but expected now that we were so late into the story. You can never really trust these white folks. They have never been friends. I was disgusted but not surprised by their actions. Nothing they did surprised me anymore. Watching the show, I became pessimistic and cynical. I learned true human nature. It was a difficult story to tell and execute, and they excelled with flying colors.